I have a lot to cover in the next 2 hours. I'm trying to cover, like for myself, 6 years of experience doing this. I'm chucking Nick's stuff in here, who's doing it for 6 years with me. There's like half a decade of stuff, or a decade of stuff I need to squeeze into like fucking 2 hours. So I actually learnt this model at the Cult, but I'm going to use it for you guys. So the way they explained how they work, right, was there's a pie chart. And if that pie chart is everything that there is to know in the world, there's like a little slither, which is like what you know that you know, which is like, I know what a bike is and I know how to ride one. There's what you know that you don't know, which is if you're like 3 and you know what a bike is, you just don't know how to ride one. But there's what you don't know that you don't know, which is like if you took that bike, you dropped into 400 BC and everyone's standing around it looking at it, not even knowing that riding it is an option. What's going to happen in the next 2 hours is I'm going to open up a lot of loops in your head that like can't be closed because we have 2 hours. So that being said, at the end, if you want, I'm going to show you guys where you can go get more help, but you can't buy anything here, so just fucking chill. Don't wait at the end to ask questions. You guys are grown-ups, so just shout out. And there's few enough of us here that that's not weird or rude, so don't raise your hand. Cool, here's the obligatory backstory speedrun that every single marketing fucking guru ever has to do. So, like Jesse said, I used to be a DJ. I was pretty decent at that. One of my things went viral and I was like, oh, I actually really like it when people pay attention to me. And then the kind of natural progression after DJing is like, all right, I know how to pick the next song now. How do I make more people come here? And I'm pretty antisocial, believe it or not. And so I didn't have enough friends to bring, so I was like, well, how do I make strangers come? And so then I learned about Facebook ads. I did weird shit that like, I could target people in specific buildings. That was fun. So I target an ad at like my competitor's nightclub. So if you were in that nightclub, you get an ad from me that said, hey, if you leave and you come here instead, I'll buy you a drink. I did some other stuff too. I had to stop when I got a cease and desist. He doesn't like me anymore. So I got really good at that. And then obviously at a nightclub, you just keep meeting people when you're drunk and you actually feel like talking to people. And then the way I actually got my first couple of clients was I was at like networking drinks, and like the rule was if you bought me a margarita, I'd draw your funnel out on a napkin. I was pretty good at it. And so I got a lot of business cards, and the next day I'm trying to remember who is each business card because I got a lot of them and consequently a lot of margaritas. And that was actually how I got my first couple of clients, which is actually word of mouth, which is the thing you guys know I'm kind of against. And yeah, so I met a bunch of people. And if you're wondering about the name Where You, it was just like my most commonly sent drunk text message. So I was just like, fuck it, we'll just use that. Cool beans. Like I said, I have about 120 minutes to unpack half a decade of experience and millions of dollars of ad spend. Even less now because I wanted to talk about how I used to be a cool DJ. So let's get stuck into it. Does this look familiar? Cool. So you should know by now, if you watched the free training video that you guys all gave me your full name, your email, and your mobile number for, that if you want to grow online, you just need 3 things. Just 3. And I'm going to try and teach you in the next like 90 minutes. You just need ads that get clicks. You need to put those ads into campaigns that show them to the right people. And you need to send those ads to websites to convert those clicks into customers. That's it. You don't need this new messenger bot hack. You don't need to build like Facebook groups and all this shit. If you actually get like a drop shipping ad next time you get one, click the Facebook page. It's right, come in, sit down. You didn't miss much. And actually look at the Facebook page. They usually have like 2 fucking likes. So you can I'm not saying don't build brand equity and stuff like that. I'm just saying if you want to get more with less, that's all you need. I'm going to show you guys in a bit like how you can get leads without a website, without a funnel. One of the guys in our With You program did it and got a lead in like 30 fucking minutes. I had a DJ school that had 5 locations in 3 cities. I didn't even have a website for it. Because if you're like me, you're kind of fucking lazy. And do you guys feel, just by show of hands, that you get bombarded by like all these tools and all these different ad things and all these different little techniques and everyone's trying to sell you another fucking thing, right? Yeah. It's just this. It's not that fucking hard. Now, I need to explain the concept of chunking up and chunking down for you guys. You might have heard me talk about this before if you follow us on Instagram and stuff. So chunking up is going more macro level in complexity. So if we go, I don't know, car, a chunk up would be like vehicle, Chunk up from that will be like transport. If we chunk down, it will be like red Suzuki Swift 2007 or something like that. Now, because everyone here has a different business and you're like, oh, by the way, could you just raise your hand if you're a service-based business? Cool, that's a lot of you. And down, and then e-commerce. Sweet, that's perfectly fine because this works for fucking both. There's some points where I'll talk more to the service people, more to the e-commerce people, because if you're in this room, you probably have fairly entrepreneurial tendencies. And if you're like me, you'll be like, I want to start something new. You'll be able to use this and do it really fucking quickly. Now, if we chunk down, following that like methodology, if we chunk down ads that get clicks, it's basically copying content. So words that they read, things that they see. I'm going to dive into it more, but content stops them scrolling, copy gets them clicking. Now, we need to put those ads into campaigns that show them to the right people. When we chunk that down, we get planning and targeting, which is like who sees it, and building and maintaining, which is just like how do we use the interface to look at these numbers and go, this isn't working, this is working, and how do I make it do better? So you can make decisions based on data and not feelings. We have this, me and Nick, my head of strategy, we did a guest lecture out of University in Perth. We're not allowed back there anymore. Because you've seen my ads, we swear a lot. Nick swears more than me as well. And we had a big slide that says, fuck your feelings. And I could hear the old lady at the back audibly gasping. I'm like, we're never getting invited back here. We didn't. Cool. And in those campaigns, you need to send them to websites that convert those clicks into customers. And so we'll dig into that. If anyone's brave later, I'll roast your website in front of everyone. It'll be really useful. Point of your time. So that means we need tracking code. There's a lady I was talking to earlier. So that you know, like, they clicked this ad, they were in this ad set, and this one's working and this one's not. And then we need a lower resistance, which is like, how do we make it physically and mentally easier for them to do the thing that you want them to do? Cool. Now, I'm going to dive into it in a Google spreadsheet, but I'm going to give you the macro level overview now so you can see where we're going with this. There's like two main metrics, CTR, which is click-through rate, and conversion rate, which is like when they're on the landing page, 1 out of every, or what percentage of people that hit that landing page actually convert. You just tug and pull on those numbers, and that's how you get better. I know when you guys like log into Ads Manager, you get overwhelmed because there's 1,000,001 fucking different statistics in there. Just look at those two. Because CTR is, are people clicking this ad? And that's indicated by how good is your ad and how good is the people, what is the quality of people seeing it? I'll go through some case studies later because I know people like learning by case studies a little bit better because it, as a business owner, it makes it more tangible. I'll go through some examples later of people that like, the ads weren't that great, but I showed them how to make a better ad and then just show it to more relevant people and they did 8 times better. Like in, I think it was like 17 fucking hours. It was stupid. Cool. And then the conversion rate is just make that go up. Make it easier for them to do it, make it more trustworthy, things like that. Does everyone see where we're going? Does anyone have any questions so far? Cool, because that was the easy stuff. Housekeeping before I forget. I think the toilets are like out there. Tell me to slow down, by the way, if I'm like going too fast. This event concludes at 5 p.m. Men's gallery opens at 6 p.m. And if there's a fire, just get out. I don't really know, it's a window right there. Cool, let's do the first chunk, ads that get clicks. Now, can anyone, just by show of hands or nodding or whatever the fuck you want to do, can you remember a time when you were having an argument with a spouse, maybe a friend, and you just said something so fast, you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah? Cool, so the brain has 2 systems of thinking. Depending which book you read, it's either called like System 1, System 2, which is a really red brain way of thinking of it. I learned red brain versus green brain, easy, like a traffic light. Red brain, stop, green brain, go. And so rational, the like emotional bit of the brain really developed first, so it's the fastest, right? So if your emotions are running high, you know, like fucking emotions are running high, say something really mean, oh fuck, I shouldn't have said that. But red brain is more rational and analytical, thinking like features, like return on investment, things like that. I'll give you guys an example right now. Did anyone on any of my ads hear me talk about Facebook optimization, click-through rate, ROI? No. It's just, are you relying on word of mouth? Is that stressing you out? It's really easy, and the way this works, right, is you can really, really easily understand how you feel and how you'd rather feel instead. The nuts and bolts of getting there, like the jargon and acronyms that I couldn't throw at you guys, that's harder for you to understand. And so there's this saying you probably heard before that people make decisions emotionally, they justify them logically. I take it a step further. People make decisions emotionally, they justify them logically, but their emotions have already fucked up all of their logic anyway. Has anyone ever just done something that you know logically you shouldn't have done that? Yeah? Right. Cool, let's go through some top level examples. So it's not this is a training video on Facebook ads so you can get more leads. This is how to never worry about where your next customer's coming from. It's not, if you're a personal trainer, a 6-week training and nutrition program so you can build muscle and lose fat. This is how to take your shirt off with confidence at the beach just in time for summer. That's how you feel. It's not, this is a rose gold necklace for women. This is jewelry to make your ex jealous. That's my favorite example because we had this one lady in the With You program, Brianna. And I was looking at a website and she was like, yeah, it was literally like a rose gold necklace. And I was like, nah, I don't really wear jewelry, so I couldn't understand. So I had to keep drilling her with questions. And the way to do this is, we're going to do it in a bit for everyone, is you just keep asking why. And if you keep digging down, it was like, I think she just wanted to make her ex jealous. I'm like, cool, do that. All of her CTRs went up. I'll give you another really good example actually. So that DJ school I used to have, 5 locations, 3 cities. I had one semester on the sales call, because you can use this for sales too, by the way, and you should. I had one semester, I closed literally 100%, like 16 out of 16. I was getting cocky and shit. I was doing calls with AirPods in and playing like Wii Golf. It was my company. I didn't know what was in the syllabus. I still don't know. If you ask me, Brandon, what's week 1? I don't fucking know, I didn't make the syllabus. I did 150 sales calls. No one ever asked me what we were learning. The whole sales conversation was towards motivators, away from motivators. The little like story about how all of our different features came apart. Because what you give, you get back. So if you give feature-based content, copy, sales stuff, you're gonna get feature-based questions back. So write this down. There's 3 steps to green brain your cool stuff. So firstly, most mediocre people will just do, what is the thing? Some people do a little bit better and they go, what is the result of the thing? The really fucking good people, they talk about how that result makes them feel. I can see pens scratching, so I'm going to leave it off a little bit. By the way, this is getting recorded and I'll use it for a lead magnet later. You guys can check your contact details in again. I'll just email it to you, it's all right. Cool. Someone yell out what you sell and let's fucking do it. Don't all go at once.
DJ for hire.
DJ for hire? Fucking easy one. Cool. Let's go through it. What is the thing? DJ for hire. What is the result of what is the result of someone booking you as a DJ? I know the answer, but just tell me.
The result, coming to their house and playing for them.
Yeah. What happens when there's a little bit more? What happens when you're actually like performing?
Happiness.
Sick. Well, that's you went ahead of me. So how does that make you feel? I want to talk about in the context of the person that pays you. So when you perform at someone's party and everyone is having a good time, how does that make the organizer feel?
They would feel, it'd be like an ego boost.
It is. I got a fucking sick party because of this dude. I'll give you a good example because I used to have a DJ hire company as well. So we were like packaging up, you can use this for fucking everything, like packaging up our like different party packages and shit like that. You know how most people would go like bronze, silver, gold package. Super fucking red brained. We had like I can't remember the first two, but the most expensive one was the fence jump package. Because your party's so sick, people are jumping the fence to get in like it's a music festival.
Yeah.
Right? Do this for like wedding photographers and stuff like that. Rather than like, they all do bronze, silver, gold, you do like forever package. Things like that. I don't know what you'll do if you've got the cheap options, like divorce package, but whatever. Someone else give me another one.
Dog training.
What was that, sorry?
Dog training.
Dog trainer.
Oh, dog trainer, cool, let's do it. What's the thing? So you're a dog trainer, what's the result of your training?
Good boy. Skipping right to the end, I think it makes people feel better that their dog was kind of fucked up and now it's got a way to life.
Yeah. How, if you had to bottle that up into like another emotion, is it bonding? Do they feel more connected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace of mind as well. Yeah. I've got a friend who's got a dog that's just biting their newborn. They're scared shitless at the moment. But the dog is great before that, so they have peace of mind over them.
Yeah, peace of mind's a great one. Independence is another really strong motivator. We use this for like the With You workshop all the time. You probably heard me give the sales pitch before, but like most people jump from like relying on word of mouth to just relying on someone to do everything for them. And they never have that happy middle ground of independence in between where they can just do some of it themselves. It's the same with like a lot of other businesses, like coaching and stuff like that, or like personal trainers. One of their packages might be that they show you all the different exercises in the gym. And so rather than getting to the gym and like looking around and being like, I'm just going to do a bench press because that's the one that I know. They know all the different exercises, and so there's like a level of like independence there. They rock up to the gym knowing what to do next. So independence is a really strong motivator.
Do you feel that, like just going back to something you said just before, do you feel that having, there's something I was just listening to on the way here, that having the 3 packages is something worth it as well? Like, the 3 options?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. So 2 or 3, and what you do is, this is getting into sales, which I wasn't going to talk about, but here's a really good analogy to drive this point home. The guy learnt sales from Peter Lakovich. I don't know how many billions of dollars of sales he's done. He told me this really good example. So he used to work at a deli for his dad, back in Perth actually, where I'm from. And when his dad was like, they'd sell pies and stuff like that. His dad told him, sadly passed away recently, his dad told him, when someone buys a pie, Peter, don't ask if they want sauce or not, ask if they want 1 or 2. Because the brain isn't thinking yes or no, it's thinking yes or yes. So if you have 1 or 2 packages and you green brain the names, so for example, we're for you or with you. So of the 2, what are you leaning towards, for you or with you? But if someone's clued into sales, they know what's happening, it still works. Because it's a logical response, right? So there's that. If you can't do like option A, option B, do payment plan or upfront. We do this too. So it will be like, when it comes to dealing with the dollars and cents, which dollars and cents is a very green brain way of like softening how much is this going to fucking cost me, Brandon. You go, when it comes to dealing with the dollars and cents, we've got 2 options. Option A, if you just want to knock it out in one go, give you a 10% discount, brings it down to like $1,800. Option B, if it's easy to you can just do a 50% deposit and we'll just deal with the rest in 10 week installments. Of the 2, what do you lean towards, A or B? And then you just shut the fuck up. That's it.
It's the illusion of choice.
Yeah, I think that's illusion of choice is what it's called. I never really knew what it was called. I just called it like a yes or a yes
It's like when you
question.
say to your kid, do you want to shower before or after dinner?
Yeah.
Right? But either way you have to.
Yeah, you can do this like appointment setting too. So if like, I don't know, Pat has cold calls one of you or something like that, and you go, yeah, I want to do a call, and then he goes, cool, like Wednesday or Thursday,
Yeah.
morning or afternoon, 3 or 4, and you do stuff. Personal trainers and stuff too, stuff like that. Chloe is our appointment setter for one of my other businesses, which I actually have a case study for later. Let's do another example. Someone else.
Anti-wrinkle injections.
Sorry?
Anti-wrinkle injections.
Anti-wrinkle injections. Cool. We have a client like this, so I'm kind of clued into this already. So what is the thing? Anti-wrinkle injections. What is the result of the thing? Obviously, you have less wrinkles. How does that make them feel? I know the answer, but
Confidence.
that's it. It's confidence. So you can use this in surveys as well. So I'm going to go through like funnels and stuff in a couple of slides. But we had like a cosmetic dentistry client, and rather than like getting to the landing page and going, give me your name, your email, and your mobile, it's like, how do we soften that, right? And so people are naturally self-centered. And so you want to ask questions about them and how they feel. And so one of the questions would be like, I don't know, how many times this week did you have to hide your smile in a social situation or something like that? Right, it's like confidence and I suppose like shame or something like that. So don't go down a super manipulative way, but it's an option. Does everyone understand and follow this line of thinking? Cool. Let's play a game called Red Brain or Green Brain. Here's an ad from someone called Half Price Shutters WA. Fun fact, they actually used to be called something else. We did their ads and then they cheaped out and got someone else and now they're called Half Price Shutters WA, so that's funny. Roller shutter sale on now. Get a free, no obligation quote today. 0% interest payment plans available. Our roller shutters block out heat, sunlight, noise, and intruders to give your family peace of mind. Get a quote today. And then every single call to action is get a quote today. Hands up if you think green brain. Consequently, red brain? Cool, everyone's following this. Here's one I published. Bit long. Every week our students are coming into their coaching calls with huge wins for their electronic artist projects because they get the education advisory and community to smash all their goals in weeks, not years. Every week they get access to all this stuff so they can rapidly accelerate the opportunities and growth of their electronic artist project. So if you're ready to get out of the bedroom studio and get labelled, ready and tour ready, click below to learn more about student perks. Red brain? Green brain? You kind of half raise your hand and I'll agree with you. Do you reckon all these dot points here? Yeah. How could I take this a step further and make it a little bit more green brain?
Start with the bottom. I would move that up to the top.
Sorry, so start with,
Get out of the bedroom studio, get label ready and tour ready, and then tell them how to do it.
yeah, I like that idea. I'm going to steal that.
Well, you could put some descriptors around your dot points.
Mm-hmm.
So the branding. So what's the, branding that
How's that
will
make you
get
feel?
seen, marketing that's straightforward, so even you can do it yourself.
Yep.
So
So just follow this. So it'll be like a content strategy, so you don't feel like you're trying to run out of ideas for TikToks or some shit like that. Releases labels so you can feel like your career's progressing forward. I think I was just trying to stick to a small word count here. But yeah, all really good points. Red brain? Raise your hand. Green brain? Why do you think it's green brain?
Well, you're taking all those problems off my hand for a start.
Maybe you're just thinking about how it makes you feel.
yeah.
I would argue red brain, because if we follow this line of thought, it's just the thing. It's doing 1/3 of it. So it's like social media management. What's the result of that? I don't know, getting more likes and comments. How does that make you feel? Vanity metrics, things like that. You could do it that way. But this is arguably one of the most red brain agency ads I've ever seen, actually. It's just like, here's a bunch of stuff you can buy from us. Mm.
I think it relies on the potential client filling in the green brain for themselves.
Yeah, which I think what you did actually.
It's like you look at that and be like, oh, that would actually be really handy.
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's actually it's not that in the copy itself.
Yeah, it's a good point. Where the fuck did that go? Oh, there it is. Oh, don't disconnect from the Wi-Fi now. This isn't the time. Oh wait, am I actually connected to the Wi-Fi? I am. I hope it loads.
It's alright, we'll edit this out.
Alright, I'll just tell you the answer was green brain. Cool, next one. What it actually was, maybe I'll send you guys the slides later. We got testimonials and case studies from all of our students in this electronic music artist producer thing. And what we do is there's a framework you should follow. Who's getting testimonials from their clients and customers? Cool, good. I fucking almost guarantee you're all doing it wrong. So do your testimonial, because usually you read testimonials or you get a testimonial and it'll sound something like, yep, I worked with Wee and Brandon was really nice and everyone was really nice and I definitely recommend Wee, he's real nice. It's like, now all that person knows is Brandon's an alright guy. You can get your clients and best customers to pitch your products for you. And so I actually don't have a slide for this, so you might need to write this down. Like, you basically want them to, firstly, you want to educate the customer on how to best give your testimonial. They also like that too, because usually, has anyone ever asked for a testimonial and they're like, yeah, what do you want me to say? Right? Just make it easier for them. So you can follow a framework loosely that follows like introduce the characters. So my name's Brandon and I run a digital advertising agency. Actually, let's use, I'll use like a personal trainer as an example. My name's Chloe's here. My name's Chloe, I'm a personal trainer. And then before state, so like I was always struggling to get leads. I didn't know where my next customer was coming from. And so when someone's doing their due diligence like they should and trying to check you out, they go, oh yeah, cool, that sounds like me. And then you go, this one's really important, especially for service-based businesses. You go, what were your hesitations before buying and what was ultimately your reason for buying? Because that's essentially objection handling. So it would be like, actually these ones here, one of the examples here is, I was really nervous about booking a call and then Jackson actually told me on that call it was not the right time for me and we should touch base in 6 months' time when I'm more ready. So if you're like considering booking a discovery session for this school, you go, oh, they're not just like trying to hustle my money, this is to figure out if this is a good fit for me or not. And then if you put that testimonial on your landing page, your conversion rates go through the fucking roof. Like there's one testimonial, you guys have probably seen it because you've all gone through my funnel. There's one testimonial from a lady called Tamara, and I put it underneath I have 2 testimonials to try and convince people to book a traffic discovery session.
The amount of stuff I learned in 6 weeks, like I've grown more in 6 weeks than I have in the past 18 months. So, yeah.
Okay, well that was the only bit I wanted to show you. She was crying in that testimonial. Doesn't really get more green brain or emotional than that. But I'll get to this in a bit. When you get those testimonials, you want to use them. So I have like 2 testimonials over on our funnel that increase the conversion rate of 2.5%, which means we get like 25% more. There was one from a lady that said, it was a Google review, and I used to do all the sales calls. Now it's a mix of me and Patters. I used to just do all the calls. So before we had the With You program, only like 2% of our leads were actually qualified for our really expensive shit. But I'm a fucking nice guy, so I just took the sales call anyway, even though I could see they weren't like qualified for it. And so I do the call and like help them out, give them some advice and stuff like that. And I just asked one lady, she just really enjoyed the call. I'm like, hey, since I didn't sell you out of my stuff, can I just get a Google review? And she did a Google review. We have a couple that's like, yeah, Brandon's like the most honest salesperson I've ever had in my entire life. And so if you go to our funnel and you go to the calendar, which you're like, I don't really want Brandon to do some 90s car salesman sales tactics on me. Then she was like the most honest sales pitch you ever had. Or like there was one from a lady called Tamara that I still get goosebumps talking about it. We did the call and I knew none of our solutions were an economical fit for her. But she was like on the brink of tears, like she had no other option. And so I was just like, look, get a pen and paper out, just do this. I told her like 5 minutes, I'm like, cool, set up this ad, set this targeting, make her ad like this, do the video like this, do the lead magnet like this. And she texted me a couple days later, she's like, Brand, you've changed my life. I've been booked out. She was almost gonna get kicked out of her house because she wasn't gonna make rent or something like that. And so I did this case study with her afterwards. And she was like, dude, you literally just changed my life from like this fucking 5-minute conversation. I'm almost nearly tearing up right now talking about it, so I'm gonna stop. But does everyone know about Ad Library? Fucking every single time I ask that, even if I'm with you workshops, they don't know about it. So, fun story. Remember when Mark Zuckerberg went to like federal court because he was like, maybe not him, but some other people were like influencing the US election? Yeah, cool. So, because of that, we all get to use this now. So, after that happened, they added a feature where if you were building a campaign, you had to tick a box that said, hey, is this about elections or politics? And then it would show those ads, but then people would just not tick the box. So, as a consequence of that, now you can see everyone's ads ever. So does anyone like looking at their competitors' ads for ideas? Right? So just fucking do this. So, someone tell me one of their competitors is running Facebook ads right now. Shout it out.
Warrior One.
Let's do it. I've seen their ads. Kind of cringe, but alright. Warrior One, like ONE.
Warrior One Yoga. Yep.
Oh, the yoga one? Bang. Sure they're running ads? Because they're not. Not right now anyway. Let's look at one of my competitors. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, some notes on all of this stuff. It doesn't tell you the performance. So just because they're running something, it doesn't mean that it's working. But if old mate has been running this ad since, let's scroll down and find a really old one, since 2020, oh, it's inactive now, probably fucking working for them. So look at how long they've been running an ad for to indicate like how well it's going.
DMS? Yeah, digital marketing school.
Digital, is that what their page is called?
It's just DMS.
It sounds like a vague acronym.
Yeah. Digital marketing.
DMS codes, any more of these?
I think you got to put in the digital marketing school.
Oh, okay.
Fuck me, I'm trying to type with one hand. This isn't good.
Lots of ads.
It's probably just the Wi-Fi being shitty. I don't know. That's fine. You guys know where to go now. Just Google FB ad library and type in all your competitors. Now, like I said, it's not a sign that it's working for them, but look at the dates. If they're clever, they've got the tracking code installed, which I swear to God, if you guys don't do that when you get home tonight, this whole thing's a waste of time. Use it for inspiration. And still look at it through all the principles like red brain versus green brain, because then you can actually figure out if this is a good ad or not. But if you're just like strapped for ideas because you're all business owners and you've got 1,000,000,001 fucking things to do, just go, oh, that's a cool hook. And then go steal that. Because you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Your competitors are already doing well, so fucking... Cool. You guys got a pen and paper. Just rate your ads from 1 to 10 that you're running right now. 1 being like you've never published one in your life. 10 being you're wondering why you even came here and you're kind of looking around and zoning out. 1 to 10. Cool. Campaigns should show them to the right people. This particular segment is 8 out of fucking 12 hours of the With You workshop and it's incredibly dense, so I can't cover all of it. But I'll give you the basic guiding principles. It's actually really fucking dense because we had to show you how to use the interface. Most of you have never even created accounts. But I'll give you the basic framework because this makes it really easy to understand. Remember what I said before, the 2 main metrics, CTR, CVR, conversion rate, click-through rate, conversion rate? You just need to like tug and pull on those to make it do better. And I'll go into a Google sheet and show you an example in a bit. But if you think you have a great ad and it's being shown to the perfect person, do you think your CTR is going to go up or down? Up. Cool. And if someone hits your landing page and it's really easy for them to find where to put their details into and you're not asking for an essay, do you reckon your conversion rate is going to go up or down? Up, right? Here's the Google sheet to prove my point. Guys in the back middle rows, can you see that or is that a hassle? Yeah, you're all sweet? Cool. Let's look at an e-commerce example then. Let's say your average order value is $200 and you spend $2,000 this month on ads. Now I need to explain CPM. CPM stands for cost per milli, means cost per 1,000 impressions. So there's a CPM model and a CPC model. CPM is social, so you get charged per impression. CPC is like Google, you get charged when they click. Okay. Let's say, okay, so CPM is also dictated by how much, it's essentially a market of supply and demand. So how many eyeballs are in this audience you're trying to target and how many other people, advertisers, are trying to get their fucking eyeballs, right? So it goes up and down based on that. Most of you are probably like a $20 CPM. I'm trying to target you guys and you guys are all business owners. How many fucking ads do you guys get from ad agencies? So, exactly, right? So my CPM's like $45. So for me to show an ad to like 1,000 of you guys cost me like $45. So if we follow that, 2,000, let's say you guys get a $20 CPM, that means we got 100,000 impressions. CTR, so of those 100,000 impressions, how many of them are gonna fucking click it? 1%, if you're on Meta, 1% is good, 1% up, general rule of thumb. That means you've got 1,000 clicks. So your clicks cost $2. Let's say they hit your website and your conversion rate is like 2%, kind of average, whatever. That means you'll get 20 purchases for about $100 each. So $2,000 divided by 20, $100. That means, given your average order value is $200, you'll do $4,000 in revenue. So 2x return on ad spend, $2 for every dollar you spend. Which means after ad spend, not even considering cost of goods, your profit is like $2,000. Let's say you show it to better people, or you just write a better fucking ad that more people click. Just write a better ad like a fucking grown-up. So let's say you go from 1% to 2%. It's not an increase of 1%, it's a double. You've gone from, what was it before, $4,000 in revenue to $8,000. All you did was write a better fucking ad or show it to a better fucking person. Let's say you build more trust signals into your website, maybe some nurture sequences, you have reviews. Oh, by the way, e-commerce lady, write down judge.me for customer reviews. I think it's free or it's cheap. It will help you substantially. And you get your conversion rate to like, fuck it, 3%. Now we're at a 6x return on ad spend. Let's say we like add some cross-sells and upsells and we go to 250. Now we're getting like $7.50 for every buck. We have like one client that perfectly was a performance. They were like a client before my company even existed. I was just freelancing. And I think we were doing like, I think $100,000 and maybe $150,000 in revenue for them a month at like a 11x return on ad spend. And then we just finally, their website was awful because someone else built it. And then we finally convinced them to build them a new website. I think we charged them like $5,000 or something like that, which is pretty cheap. We've been mates for ages. We doubled their conversion rate. So if they were doing $150,000 before this website and we doubled their conversion rate, could you do the math and figure out how much more money they made? We get embarrassed if we do less than $250,000 a month for them now. All we did was just change their website. I think he made his money back in like 8 hours. It's fucked. It's stupid. I know most of you are service-based businesses, so let's do that as well. I'm going to explain, I should have brought a whiteboard. There's a 1-step funnel and a 2-step funnel. I don't have slides for this, so you're going to need to write this down. A 1-step funnel, there isn't a whiteboard, is there? A 1-step funnel is you click an ad and you go to a landing page and they put their name, their email, and their mobile in. Those contact details go to a salesperson. That salesperson tries to sell them some stuff. That is a 1-step funnel because there's one conversion that happens. The contact details, okay? A 2-step funnel is same as the 1-step funnel, but after they put their contact details in, so they do a contact commitment step 1, time commitment step 2. So for example, with you guys, give me a contact details to give you a free training video. Next page, book a call with me so I can try and sell you some stuff. I'll tell you how to pick 1 or 2-step funnel, and I can answer questions so you fucking pick the right one too. So if the thing that you're selling only requires like a 5, maybe 10-minute phone conversation, and you're just changing something, like an inanimate object like roller shutters and windows and shit like that, just do a 1-step funnel. If the thing you are selling changes someone's life, you need to talk to them for like 30 minutes about that. You can't interrupt someone for that amount of time, right? So they need to make a time commitment. So you do a 2-step funnel. Is anyone a coach or a consultant or need to talk to someone for 30 minutes? Cool, all of you guys, 2-step funnel. I'll show you mine too, because most people, they're like, I don't even know how you got my contact details. It was all a blur. So I'll go through mine and show you what to do, right? Now, let's do one step funnel. Let's say you sell like, I don't know, roller shutters or something, but like $2,000, I don't really know. Let's say you spend $2,000, so it's $20 CPM, again, 1% CTR. Let's say the conversion rate is 20%. That means you'll get 200 leads for $10 each. That's pretty fucking good, actually. Let's say you're a decent salesperson and you close 40%. That means you close a deal for, what's this? Is that right? Oh yeah, that is right. Cool. That means you'll get 80 deals for $25 each. Not fucking bad. Let's say again, you just write a better ad. Not that fucking bad, right? Let's look at a two-step funnel because a lot of the coaches and consultants raise their hand. Let's say you're trying to sell a $4,800 product, which is a with you price. You spend $2,000 on ads. Like I said, our CPM's like $45. Let's say your CTR is, well, ours is 2, so I'm going to change that. That means we're getting clicks for $2.25. Now, let's say my landing page is shit and every 10th person that hits my landing, actually that's average actually, that's not shit, that's shit for me. But 10% of people like opt in on that landing page. That means you get leads for $22.50 each. That's step 1. Step 2, let's say every 20th person that hits here actually books a call. That means cold bookings cost $450. Let's say fucking Patterson's having an awful month and he closes 5%. That means it costs us $2,000 to close a deal on this $4,800 product. So return on ad spend is like 2.4. Let's say, okay, I know it's actually 38%, I was being 2% generous. That means every $5.92 now, one of you guys will give me your full name, your email, and your mobile. Let's say, which is true for me, every 10th person that watches the video on the second page asks for their own sales call. Because you know how to structure that via sales letter. That means I get call bookings for $59.21. I know for a fact me and players close 20, actually it's 60% this month, we're kind of fucking killing it. That means every $285 I spend on ads, one of you guys is going to buy my With You program. Let's say, and here's the other thing too, because now you have certainty, right? Because does anyone ever feel like, I don't know where my fucking customer's coming from, I don't know what strings I need to pull on or push on to get more leads, right? I fucking know. It's like, make more people click the ad, make them fucking trust me more, or get more bookings. That's it, right? And so here's the other thing, right? Let's say you're hiring salespeople and you're like, well, I need to make sure their calendar's full, right? Because I'm paying them a base salary and the commission, stuff like that. If I hire another Patters, I know how much I need to spend on ads. So let's say I want them to have 20 bookings a week. I just multiply 20 by $59. Let's fuck it round to 60. Make the ad spend that. Let's say I'm like, oh, what do I want my With You sales to be now? And I'm like, cool, I don't want 7 sales, I want 14 sales. Just set it to that. And so you have clarity, and you know what you need to do. You're not like, I don't fucking know if I can actually afford to hire this person. Because like I said, like you can make decisions based on facts, not feelings. So you can have clarity in what you need to do next, right? So like I said, like all we're really changing is make more people click the ad or make people convert. That's it. Does everyone follow this line of thinking? Here's a fucking thing to prove my point. So one of our With You program members, she signed up and she was super on the ball too. Her and her partner moved from Melbourne to Brisbane or something like that. They sold all their stuff. They're like, we're doing this. We're making this work one way or another. And so when we onboard With You members, I do a call with them. I look at their ad account and stuff like that. Her CTR was like 1%. I looked at it and she made the same mistake that fucking everyone makes when they come in. So is anyone running Google search ads right now? Cool, you might be doing this, so pay attention. How many ad groups do you have?
I'm not running them myself.
Okay. Is it an agency? Cool. How many ad groups are they running?
I wouldn't know.
Why not?
Because I don't give a fuck.
No. You probably should. Are you making
It works really well.
Okay, cool. They're probably doing this then. Good. What most people do that are beginners when they're doing their Google ads is they think of ad groups wrong. Ad groups aren't just bundles of keywords, they're bundles of intent. It's a very kind of complex problem to break down, but you don't just want to get every single potential inquiry someone might search into Google and just chuck them in one ad group. Here's a really good example, actually. Actually, I'll use this one because she's on the fucking screen right now. So she does car detailing, and she does like car washes and paint protection and all that stuff. So she just had one ad group for every single keyword of stuff that she does, and then there's one ad, which was for paint protection. And so if someone searched in car wash, they're going to get a paint protection ad. What do you think its CTR was? It was like 0.9%. By the way, on Google, you want to be like 10, by the way. And I looked at her account, I was like, okay, cool, figured it out. I was like, make an ad group for every single different service offering that you have. And then, so if you search paint protection, you just get a paint protection ad. If you search car wash, you just get a car wash ad. Because you had to consider the behavior, because if I go onto Google and search for something, I'm looking for the answer. So the messaging has to connect to where it come from. Most people, when they're just doing their ads, they just do it because they figured out the interface. They know how to use it, but they don't know how to use it intelligently. We had another guy, Humes. He sells like pre-workout and protein powder and supplements, fitness supplements and stuff like that, right? And got him onto like one of the weekly advisory calls with like Nick and I. We looked at his account. Same thing. He just had like one ad group with like every single thing that he ever sells ever. So someone might search in protein powder and then get an ad for like a fat burner. Someone might search like, fat burner and get an ad for protein powder or bulking stuff. There was no connection between the ad that they clicked or the ad they were served and the person that they were, right? If we link back to those three circles I was looking at before. And so it clicked to me, I went, oh bro, just make make two ad groups. Get jacked, get shredded. One of those two. And then his CTR went to like, I think it's like 8, I was talking to him in the workshop the other day, it's like 8% now, right? So he's getting 8 times more clicks, and all he did was, his ad was already all right, just had to show it to better people. So she was at like, we looked at her Google ad account, and I was like, cool, you're already doing 5 times better than you were before. And then I went, oh shit, you might actually be doing better, because can you change the date range? She was doing like 10 times better in like 17 hours. She just emailed me the next morning, I hopped into a call with her, I'm like, oh fuck, you're actually doing like 10 times better. All we did was just split up the ad group. Those 2 circles, right? Who it gets shown to, what they're getting served. Cool. Rate your campaigns from 1 to 10. 1 being you have no idea who you're fucking targeting. 10 being a fucking Rain Man and you're probably left by now if that's the case. Cool. Websites that get conversions. This part of our With You workshop is actually only the last 90 minutes, and I had to preface it for everyone because they will attribute how much time we spend on it for how important it is. And if the workshop's like 16 hours and we spend 90 minutes on this, they go, oh, it's not that important. And then it's also the end of 2 days and they're tired, right? And they just had to get bombarded with technical stuff by Nick for 12 hours straight. But if I go back to this Google sheet, it's one of the fucking highest leverage points. Like that client, his website converted 1%, we just made it 2%, he made an extra 150 grand, right? So don't think that, it's the last thing Brandon's talking about, must be the least important. No. Very, very important. The reason, we spend $200 a day on ads, and each lead costs like $5, right? And so being able to nurture, where the fuck is the mouse gone? Being able to nurture people through that's really high leverage activity. There's 9,000 people sitting in our database, which is, like I've said before, way too much power for me to have because I can just email you guys whenever I want.
You do anyway.
What's that?
You did that anyway.
Yeah. By the way, I think it's absurd that you guys actually rocked up, by the way. Because I was, what actually happened? If you follow our Instagram story, you'll know. I was just bored at home. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to be in Melbourne anyway. Like, I think it'll be free. The fund didn't do a free event. And so I just emailed all you guys and I was just like, I don't know, like we could get a boardroom or something like that. And then like, if you want to come, just reply. I was like, I don't even know where it is, when it is, or what I'm going to talk about. And we got like 156 responses. I was like, oh fuck, I should probably do something then. And then the next morning I made an Eventbrite link and all 100 free tickets, you know, fucking disappeared. I was like, oh shit, I should probably sort out the venue. This venue's $3,000. I'm not even selling anything to you guys. So I was like, maybe I just made a mistake. But that's the power of like having so many leads in our database. It's just like, if I really wanted to, I could just turn our ads off, save $200 a day, and just send you guys emails. That's it. I did one the other day that was, you guys probably got it. I was just like, we sell websites. And I was just like, I don't think many people know we sell websites. So I just emailed everyone. I was like, do you guys know? A bunch of people were like, no, I didn't. And then just booked a call in. I was like, oh, fuck. Cool. Here's the main thing for lowering resistance. That's the phrase I'm going to use because it makes more sense and it's more sensible than conversion rate. A little bit more green brain as well, actually. How to lower resistance on your websites and landing pages. You need to make it physically and mentally easier to do the thing that you want them to do. Now, what do I mean by that? Here's a case study to prove my point. Jeff Bezos, he makes a bit of money. He's the only fucking dude on earth that is allowed to do a one-click checkout. One, not two. He makes quite a bit of money. I don't know, where's he second richest person? Fucking probably can't. But one-click upsell. That patent's worth billions of dollars because people can just, you can accidentally buy shit on Amazon. Has anyone done that? Yeah, all the fucking time. Yeah. And so that's a really great segue into my main point, which is you want them to make it physically easy. So when they click the ad and you've got them off distracted doom scrolling TikTok, you need to make them be able to do the thing you want them to do in as few clicks as possible, as few scrolls as possible, and as few keystrokes as possible. So what that could mean is as few clicks as possible. That also means like, do I need to click this button to go to another page to do the thing you want me to do? So that means I had to click once and then also wait 2 seconds for a page to load. Who takes like strategy calls or discovery session bookings to book a sales call? Does anyone do that? The consultants in the room should. Cool. Don't make this mistake I made earlier. So our funnel used to be like 4 steps. And I don't have a whiteboard, so I can't do it. But it was like the opt-in page, which is contact details, and then the VSL page, and then underneath that, there was a button that said go to my calendar page. You had to click it, wait a second for it to load, and then my calendar widget was there. And then you had to click through and type all that shit, right? I was like, why the fuck did I do that? And then I just took the calendar widget and I just put it on the second page and got rid of the third page. Literally double the conversion rate. 1 click and a page load. So just make it really, really easy. As few scrolls as possible. Josh, I'm not going to use the example I usually use because it's going to be uploaded publicly. I use one of my competitors. But you don't want them to have to scroll all the way to the fucking page. Just make it like immediately obvious. I'm going to go through some examples as well. And as few keystrokes as possible. So like, do they need to write an essay here or can their iPhone autofill most of their contact details? I didn't put this in here either, but service-based businesses. Does anyone have an issue with low quality leads? Yep. Do the opposite. So for that, you increase resistance. It means your cost per lead goes up, but it means you spend more time talking to quality people. Because you can accidentally fill out a lead form on Facebook. Actually happens quite, we had one client that they had this issue with like all these dud leads were coming in and we actually figured out that like babies were playing on these parents' iPads and just submitting shit. It was auto-filling. And so, let's say for example, you're a personal trainer, you want to add keystrokes. So not name, email, mobile, get in contact. It'd be like name, email, mobile, what are your 3 whys for going to the gym? It's usually like get jacked, get shredded, get laid. So those 3 things, right? So add in questions that have mental resistance. I had to think about this. I can't accidentally fill this out. And if they do accidentally fill it out, you can see, right? So Chloe, when she gets discovery session bookings, if we see, oh, they're like, we don't like, do rappers and hip hop artists and stuff like that. If we see one of those come through, we just cancel the booking. We don't have anything to sell them. Or if someone like half-assed their entry, we just don't fucking take the call, right? And so you can put more energy into like people that have actually put energy into you as well, and you can close higher. So increase resistance, add clicks, add scrolls, add keystrokes. So that the only people becoming a lead fucking really want to be a lead. Okay? That useful? Cool, make it mentally easier. So you want to add trust signals. That's things like, does this actually work? Will this actually arrive? Does this exist at all? So for example, like e-commerce people just stop using just product shots. Because all it answers is like, that's what the bottle looks like. But you need to show all the different use cases as well. So not just like renders of the product, like the product on a table and someone's using it. It's very subtle, but it overcomes that mental block where they're like, is this thing even fucking real? Will this actually arrive? Easy way to do that, unboxing videos. It's actually really weird. It will just lower the resistance because like, oh yeah, this thing arrived in a box and this dude in a video that someone paid $20 on Fiverr is unboxing it, right? And does it actually exist at all? So like I said, actual product in use shots, not just like a render. If you're selling like digital products like lead magnets and stuff like that, you guys will notice this in my ads because how many fucking training free lead magnet? Most of you guys don't even log in to watch it, but because I can see. But for like digital products, you can just do stuff, just screen record yourself scrolling through it. It really is. What people used to do was everyone's seen this, you have like an ebook and then you get someone to render what the ebook would look like it was physical. Doesn't work anymore. Just like scroll through the PDF. Better thing you can do as well is just like get your phone, point it at the screen and scroll through it. Let's look at some examples now. So remembering as few clicks as possible, as few scrolls as possible, as few keystrokes as possible. What do you think I want you to do there? Yep. Not all the way down here, just fucking right there. I want to tell a story here to make this point of being able to achieve less with more. So me and my friend are building this like journaling app. And does anyone here journal a lot? Cool. This isn't a sales pitch, like fucking calm down. But I was like, man, how cool would it be? Like, you know the bullet journal where you had to like draw your thing? I used one of those and I was like, I think it'd be cool if it was just a digital fucking version. And so what I did was, I told my friend his name's Michael Bell, we call him Bellend, that's why I'm calling him that. But I was like, before we build this thing, let's just see if anyone wants to use it as well. And so I just went to Webflow, which by the way, if you want a really pretty website and your service base, use Webflow, because there's a bunch of templates. And I made, not this one, but a very similar one in like 45 minutes flat. And then all I did was like, cool, there's a landing page. You could chuck your email in just to try now or free trial, whatever the call to action was back then. I just ran some ads, which was fucking shit, by the way. And I went, does anyone want to give me their email at all to try this thing? To validate it's worth building this thing at all? I built it in like a template from like, I think like 45 minutes. It still had lorem ipsum text on it. You know that weird? It still had that. I didn't fucking bother. I was like, just to see if anyone wants to give me their email. We got leads for like $5. I was like, oh shit, okay. Maybe we should build this thing. And we did, and it works quite well. But the main thing is like, it's very obvious what I want you to do there. I'm not asking for your name, your email, your mobile. It's just like, chuck your email in, you can try it now. Very simple, right? Let's look at one that's really familiar to you guys. There's a bunch of stuff I want to point out here because I know all of you guys are service-based. This is the second step of the funnel. So the first one before this, you guys gave me your contact details and then you went here. Don't say thank you on the second page. Don't say done, don't say complete. You want to keep the loop open in their head. Language like thank you and done, they go, oh, cool, I'll go back to doom scrolling on TikTok now, looking at e-girls, or if that's what my TikTok for you page looks like. And then they just go. But there's another step. And so you just say, next step, watch this 6-minute video so you can unlock a fucking flood of customers this week. The other thing your landing pages do is it makes the next promise. I didn't have a slide for this either, but write this down. Your ad sells the click, not the product. Likewise, your landing pages, unless you're e-commerce, if you're e-commerce, tune this out. Your landing pages just sell the next action. This whole page, the whole intention behind it is just book a sales call with us. I'm not trying to pitch for you. I'm not trying to pitch with you. It's just like based on the last page you're at and where I need you to go next. Here's all the shit I need to show you. Let's scroll down a little bit more. Schedule chat for the unique solution to grow your business. Before I keep going, I want to make a point here as well. Whilst I'm using us as an example, what I had to be able to do, it's really hard to teach, like, because you guys all have different businesses, it's really hard to say, well, I can't because there's fucking 2 dozen of you. It's really hard to be like, this is exactly what your headline should be. This is exactly what this should be, right? So what I need to try and do here is like open your mind so you can see what I see. So you guys can go from like unconsciously incompetent to consciously incompetent to hopefully consciously competent. And so as I'm mentioning and pointing out all these things, I just need you to go, oh yeah, cool, like that's how I could use that little thing. Even though it's not word for word, right? Cool. So it says schedule a chat for the unique solution to grow your business. It's not just schedule a chat. You have to say why. Because you had to make the next promise. I had one of my mates who's actually a competitor. He was like, he sent me his file. I was like, what do you think? I was like, what? I was like, what does it say? Schedule a chat or a strategy session, whatever the fuck it was. I was like, you need to tell them why. Cool. Oh, this is the thing I mentioned before, like the most honest sales pitch I've ever had. So if you like hit here and you're like, I'm not convinced, Brandon, you're probably going to try and like back me in a corner, because you've got that. And then you've also got, we used to do NPS scores back when we were on high level. And so after a call, someone gets sent a Google form and said, based on your call alone, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend? There's a bunch of 10s there. Here's an important thing. I left a 5 there from some fucking dog cunt. It's actually good to have it there. There was actually a study with Google reviews where people actually don't trust perfect 5 stars. It's fucking sus, bro. It's like, how many friends have you got, right? Just entering 5 stars. They don't trust perfect. I think people just accept that nobody's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. That's why they put erasers on the ends of pencils, right? And so I leave the 5 in there. I think it's actually an option for me to delete that individual response, but I'm like, no, let's show we're not fucking perfect. Cool. This is that example I gave before from tomorrow. It's like, we didn't even picture any of our stuff. She just gave us a testimonial, right? Here's an important point with video testimonials. They like seeing them. They usually don't watch them. So still have them there. Usually what happens is we have a plugin called, you might want to write this down, called Microsoft Clarity. It's free. It's kind of creepy. You can basically see every single visitor. It blurs out like any form fields they type in, but you can see, it's kind of like Hotjar, I think it was the other one, but it's expensive. This is free and the fucking same. You can see where they're clicking. So if they're trying to click something that's not a button, but they think it's a button, you go, oh shit, I should probably change that. Or you can find little areas, or you can see where they scroll, where they stop, what they watch, what they don't. Yeah, it's got like heat signatures and stuff like that. And so you can see how far down people scroll. So you can be like, oh, they're actually just like not even getting to the most important stuff. You just move it up. So like with these video testimonials, usually what happens is they just like click into play. Okay, cool, that's real. And then what they do is they just scroll down to the actual like Google reviews. Here's another important thing. I just screenshot these ones. You should embed them. I like screenshotting them because I think it's more like authentic. What you should not do, and stop doing this because I know most of you do it. Let's say you have a Google review from, I don't know, Jesse or something like that. And I just get Jesse's photo and his headshot and I just write down what Jesse said. Don't do that anymore. Because people know you can just fucking write anything there. There's a bunch of things that are weird about human evolution, but we got really quick at figuring out what's embedded and what's not. I don't know what it is. I don't know the answer. But like, you know when you look at a website and you're like, I know that's pulled from Google. I don't know how to explain it. But people just know when something's embedded and legit, or if you just fucking wrote it there, right? So that's why I screenshot them. I remember the reason I don't embed the Google reviews, because my girlfriend did one. And she said, owner's really hot. And I'm like, I don't really want that on our landing page. It pops up. Some other things you can do. Coaches, this is a really big one. Just do screenshots from coaches do this a lot. They'll just like do screenshots of like messages from clients and stuff like that. Like, I feel great this week. I lost so much weight. Blah, 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 blah. Screenshots are really great too because again, it's authentic. It answers that question of, is this real or not? And then I repeat the call to action on the bottom right. There's some other points that I wanted to make about tools. I'll talk about some different tools as well. There's only one e-commerce person in the room, right? Cool, just use Shopify. Okay, cool. Shopify for e-com. Coaches and consultants use High Level. I was talking to Jesse about it at the back a while back. High Level's sick. We use HubSpot now because I'm kind of a drama queen, but it's like $2,000 a month. But like, it's worth it for us. But High Level's great. I think it's like $97 a month for the plan for you guys, but you can build funnels, landing pages, like nurture sequences, SMS, text, calls. You can build out pipeline management. So does anyone here have a customer relationship management system? Sick, cool. The ones that don't, you need this. The highest leverage point for us as an agency was when we just got High Level because I wasn't losing leads in like an email inbox or forgetting to update a Google Sheet or something like that. People were just moving through our pipeline automatically. And so I could log in and see where every single one of our opportunities were at any point in time. I know who I'm following up. I know who didn't show up to their traffic discovery session. I can see all of that. All I actually had to do was I just marked not showed or no showed on the traffic discovery session. And if they showed, they got moved to follow up, they got different emails and things like that. If they no showed, they moved to that stage, got different emails, and it just automated so much of the sales process. Because if I was to try and manually manage the amount of leads we get now, it just wouldn't get done. And so my general rule of thumb is like, if you can get a robot to do it instead, just do it because humans are squishy and weak and sometimes stupid. And if they might do it from time to time and know how to do it, but eventually the system breaks and they're squishy, so they'll just stop doing it. So just get robots to do it for you. I should explain the difference between websites and funnels. So, because this question comes up a lot in the With You workshop as well. Websites are more of a directory, but don't send paid traffic to your homepage. So if we follow that chain of thinking before, where like as few clicks, keystrokes, and scrolls as possible, someone hits your homepage, they're like, okay, cool, I've got to find this page. And there's also like no clear what needs to be done next. Funnels and landing pages are way better for traffic because there's one fucking thing I want you to do here. You don't have any other options. The only other option is leave. But then I can measure if you left and I can figure out the conversion rate, right? But a website, you hit a website and you go, here's the homepage, here's the about page, there's too many fucking options, right? If you actually go to our contact page, this is a video from me when I was way chubbier, and it just says like, what are you doing here? We don't send any paid traffic here, so you must be like a referral from a happy client. You've gone through our actual funnel and now you're just checking us out, or you're just my competitor trying to see what's up. There's only 3 people that go there. We get some leads from our website, but most of them come through this because this is measurable. I know every 10th person that watches that video asks for a sales call. And I've touched on it, Webflow to build service-based websites. They actually have this thing called Webflow University. It's really great. It's free. It just teaches you how to build really pretty Webflow websites. Now, you can generate leads with our website. So both Facebook and, well, I should say Meta now because that's what they're fucking called. Facebook and TikTok let you just do lead forms just native to the app. And the thing that's great about that is it doesn't take people off of the platform. So you just click the ad, it like immediately loads, and there's fucking nothing else to do. It just reduces heaps. There's fucking fuck all clicks. There's basically no scrolls, and you can auto contact, like fill details. It's good. It takes me like an hour to show you how to do this, but if you want to know how to do it, this is probably the YouTube search that you will need to make. It will be Facebook lead form, Zapier integration, Google Sheet. So what that means is you create a lead generation campaign on Facebook, But the problem with it is it's fucking, they're like the biggest social media company on earth and they don't make it easier. But the problem with it is you have to manually download a CSV file of all of the leads as soon as they come in. It's fucking annoying. So what you need to do is link it up with a program called Zapier or Zapier, depending which country pronunciation you prefer. What's it called? Pabbly. That's cool. Is that like a Zapier alternative? Okay, cool. I think I spent like $700 a month on Zapier. It like tapes together like our whole fucking agency. What was that, sorry?
Pabbly. I think they've got it $197 for a lifetime.
Oh, really? That's cool. Everyone check that one out.
Yeah. There's Make as well. M-A-K-E.
M-A-K-E? Man, I'm going to ditch my fucking Zapier subscription, goddamn. Yeah, because Zapier charges per usage too, and it tapes together fucking so much shit for us. But if I follow my train of thought here, essentially you want to connect it to Zapier, and then you just send it to, it can link up to nearly every single software you're probably using. If you don't have a CRM system, you can like zap it into Google Sheets and have a makeshift CRM, or you can be a grown-up and get high level and have an actual proper CRM system. Now, Jack did this and he got leads in like 30, this is my favorite testimonial because he says, I'm starting to develop a love for a man that I haven't had before. So his campaign was live, I showed him how to do it, he got leads in like 30 minutes. And this is exactly what we did for the DJ school as well. I was like, how old was I? I think it was like 22, I was pretty fucking broke because I was a DJ. And so I was like, I don't have money to pay for the fucking hosting, let alone anything else. And so I just like set up a lead gen thing. And then all I had to do was just like, all right, lead comes in, I'll get an automated email from Zapier. I just had to manually put the person's number in my phone and call them. And it was so much fucking work. But just old school. Cool. Who wants me to roast their website?
Letter K, number 9, services, all one word. .com.au.
No, it's funny. Whenever I ask this, people always start with, "Oh, but I'm changing it soon." It's all right, don't worry about it. K9services.com.au. Are you running any ads at all, or are you all organic? Okay, cool. So I should touch on the point that I'm going to be taught. By the way, I just trained legs, so if I fall over, that's fucking why. You wouldn't send traffic here, paid traffic here. You'd want to send them to a dedicated landing page. So remember how I said before, let's say you have how many different, just so I can actually workshop this with you, how many different like offerings do you have? Just give me like one of them.
Training in person.
Cool, training in person. So let's say someone searches in-person dog training, they get an in-person dog training ad. You want to send them to an in-person dog training landing page. Makes sense? So the ad makes the promise, the landing page keeps it, right? Increases your conversion rate the whole way through. So every single one of our ads says relying on word of mouth somewhere in the ad, usually before the fold. And then you hit the landing page as the first fucking phrase, right? So go, I'm relying on word of mouth, I'll click this ad. You hit the landing page, relying on word of mouth, I'm still in the right place, right? Because people's dopamine systems are just fucking blasted from social media, right? You want to make it really mentally easy for them to figure out they're in the right place, right? So, just so I can look at it, do you have a dedicated landing page for in-person dog training services right now? Okay, cool. Well, let's look at this one here. The internet's very slow, so I probably shouldn't have clicked that. Cool. Yep. Sweet. From the behavior. Cool. Sweet. So some things. Here's pretty red brain. So what I'll do is, most people, this is a big mistake a lot of you are probably making, is they just make their headline like what it is. So remember the step 1 of 3. So someone will be like, chiropractic services Melbourne. That should actually be the sub-headline. So the headline-sub-headline combination goes green brain, red brain. How am I going to feel? How are you going to do it? I've been dog training for 18 years, my passion. Cool. How far do I need to scroll down to get in touch with you? Ah. Cool. That's a lot of clicks.
Yeah, that is intentional, but I don't know that that's why.
Yeah, so you're increasing resistance. So you probably don't have a lead quality problem, do you?
If they manage to get through.
Yeah, exactly right. Because like if I'm like, I'm kind of iffy about dog training, I'm probably not going to fucking bother. But if I'm like, dude, I need this fixed yesterday, give me the essay, I'll write it. So that's great. If, just theoretically, if you wanted to lower resistance, you could just put it up here and just do like name your mobile. Now what you actually do is, rather than going straight for the fucking jugular with their contact details, you start with a self-interested question first. So you might have like a survey. Typically what we do is you could do it like a two-step funnel. You could do like a survey first and contact details right at the end of it. And so it might be like, how old is your, or what issues are you having with your canine? And then you go through like 3 or 4 or 5 questions, and then right at the end you go, okay, cool, name and mobile number. You can do email, it will fuck up the conversion rate, it's really annoying. I think people are sick of getting spammed, but they know they probably need to talk to you. We have this issue a lot where like clients were like, I want to have their email. I'm like, we can get it to you, can we just not make it required, because it's going to fuck up our results. And most people just don't open their emails, you go to spam and shit like that. And so if you're trying to get their contact details, don't start with like what you want, start with what they want. And then by the time they've gone through all of, they're like, oh, fuck it, fine, I'll give you a name and mobile number, right? So start with what they want, what they're looking for, then go with what you want. It'll help you a lot. Someone else?
Yogaharta.com.
Sorry, I got the yoga part. Yoga.
Harta.
Like that?
Yeah.
.com.au? Sorry?
Either way, yeah.
Oh, really?
It's an
Oh, no,
Harta.
I can't see the top.
Oh, Harta. Sorry, that's my fault. Am I connected? Oh, I'm not even fucking connected to the internet. That's probably why. Josh, are you here? I'm hotspotting your phone. Thank you.
Put an A if you want
Cool. Are you running ads at the moment?
it. No.
Cool. Do you have any dedicated landing pages for any specific services? Sweet. Cool. Great headline. Improve your physical and mental health. Fucking, what do you even want feedback about, bro? This is great. 2 call to actions. So there's this thing I didn't have time to put in the slides called the rule of 1. So I think his name's Michael Masterson. He was like the fucking don of copywriting back in the day. And he did, it's on YouTube. Search the rule of 1 Michael Masterson speech or something like that. It's like 90 minutes long. So it was his retirement speech. There's a whole fucking function, hundreds of people there and stuff like that. And the lady that was introducing him was crying. I was like, what the fuck does this guy have to say? So I was like, all right. And he summarized all of his decades of copywriting into one principle, which he called the rule of 1. And it's like 1 idea, 1 promise, 1 emotion, 1 call to action, 1 story. And so, like I was saying before, like you want to have 1 thing, 1 emotion, 1 thing for the. So you search yoga, or like, what do you have? Like, I don't know yoga, but like, do you have different offerings or classes or?
There's a bunch of different styles of classes, but essentially you're just buying membership to all of the classes.
Okay, well let's say I was to search like, are you in Melbourne? Yeah, cool. So let's say I search like yoga Melbourne. I get a yoga Melbourne Google ad. I go to a yoga Melbourne landing page, right? But what's happening here is I've got 2 different options, which also kind of contradicts what I said before about the yes or the yes thing. But you want that in a sales conversation. Marketing and sales are very different. I just want 1 clear call to action here. Let's click. What do most people click, do you know? Or what? Okay, actually, what do you want most people to click?
The intro offer if they're new.
Cool. I don't want to click it because Wi-Fi sucks. But if I go become a member, does it take you straight to sign up?
It takes you to our booking software
Yep.
to sign up to a contract.
Anyone ever do that?
Yeah.
Really? Like, is it after they talk to you though?
It'll be after they've been to the studio.
Yeah, cool. So make that your call to action.
Right.
Because I don't know why gyms still do this, but gyms will like just assume anyone will sign up without coming to the gym and talking to someone.
Yep.
And so what you actually want to do is, every single member you have now, is there anyone that's ever signed up that hasn't talked to you or someone there?
Not many.
Yeah, not many. So the sample size is quite small, right? So you want your call to action to be come in and visit and try it out. So try a call to actions like come, try it out, meet the team, come up with a plan, things like that, right? Because there's probably a lot of people here saying that become a member. Probably the only people that are clicking that are like, you just didn't sign them up in person, they were thinking about it, and then they went and did it.
Yep.
And so, but for most people that are like Googling you, maybe not even Googling you, because they're probably not, they're probably Googling the solution you offer, and you just happen to pop up first, second, or third.
Yep.
And then they're going there, and they're like, okay, cool, now I'll check this out.
Yep.
We got time for one more.
So I was just asking a question on that. So
Yep.
with this business, like you're clicking there and you've got to go to a place, right? That's a sort of step of a thing you've got to overcome. Say you've got like an app and then we tap into this, people signing up to things and not really using it, trying to make a bunch of money. How much easier are you going to make it just for people to accidentally sign up to an app and like, what's the sort of call to action going to be as a difference when you don't actually have to go and have a face-to-face thing? Maybe I don't want to have the sales call, I want to make it a little bit more passive.
That goes more down the route of like e-commerce. So I should explain my language. When I say like service-based businesses, I mean like they need to talk to someone first. E-commerce is like all the transactions happen without talking to a squishy human. It's also, it was funny, I noticed this problem with the With You workshop where when you build your campaigns, you set the objective, you either set it as leads or sales. We had one lady at the thing that works in sort of, it wasn't her company, she got sent there by someone. And she was like, oh, my conversion's sales because I want sales. I'm like, we all want fucking sales. But before that happens, someone needs to be a lead. And so that's the thing there. So in your instance, you're more of an e-commerce example. So what you could actually do for apps as well is, I actually don't really like the idea of free trials because people don't buy into it. So what I would suggest instead is consider it a challenge. So one of the marketing strategies we're going to try for Journal Thingy is a 30-day consistent journaling challenge. And so it's not like, hey, do you want to try my thing for 7 days? It's like, hey, do you want to actually build like some really good habits in the next 30 days? And consider it more of a challenge. The app is just how they're getting there. That make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Sick.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So using that as an example, is there any, like from a data perspective, do pop-ups perform any better?
Oh, for fuck God, don't use those. It really
As
increases.
opposed to like clicking to a new page?
As in like you click a button and then it pops up.
Like if I click intro offer 35 for 2 weeks, rather than going to a whole another page where I've got to wait for it to load,
I know what you mean.
a pop-up where I enter my information and I click go,
Yeah.
does that work any better?
Perhaps. I have this, has anyone seen that reel I had where it's this model I came up with. So if you have a y-axis and an x-axis, and y-axis is fuck around, and x-axis is find out. If you don't fuck around, you don't find out very much. And so you could test it. You should test that. My hypothesis is it will perform basically the same. Like what we could do here, like I could, if I wanted to on Journal Thingy, have a button that says try now, and then a pop-up, and then an email. But then if we follow my chain of thinking before, that's a click and a load. Whereas here, and then I had to click into the email box, right? So depending how much information you need, what you might even do here is just have an email field, and then the button call to action is like, what is it? Intro offer, try intro offer. And then it takes them to another page that requests more info. And then if they don't complete that, they go into a nurture sequence, right?
Would it be better to have one button that says start your yoga journey here?
That'd be sick, yeah, do that.
They just click that and it takes them to the options of what they want to buy.
No, because they got to talk to you first, remember? So it will be more like schedule a chat. The other thing as well is as soon as you reveal all the prices, they just start price shopping. And so because you're a service-based business, you want to control as much of the conversation as possible, right? Does anyone, you guys all work in sales as well, right? You get the, oh yeah, I'll definitely have a think about it and get back to you. You literally do that if you just give them all the information. Right? So you want to control as much of that as possible.
Feedback on that.
Mm.
I'm very transparent about all that pricing.
Mm-hmm.
We work in the education sector,
Yep.
and everyone's charging everything. I personally hate having to get onto a phone call to
Yep.
talk to anybody about their pricing, so I effectively won't use their service.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're transparent, you'll tell me, I'll go all the way.
Yep.
But I'm assuming am I the minimal here?
So it depends on the sample size. So this is one thing as well. I actually used to do that. The VSL on my second page just used to say all of our prices. And it kind of increased the conversion rate. It actually kind of reduced it, but the people that were hopping in the call were buying. But then there's this weird balance of like, you need quality and quantity. So I was getting low quantity, but then like heaps of quality. But then it's this fine balance as well.
The problem is millennials don't want to talk.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Millennial sales guys don't like talking to anybody. It's terrible.
So it depends on the market as well, right? And so this is where all of your numbers come in. So if you figure out that no one's booking calls, figure out why. If that's the reason why, you know that's the string to pull on to increase the conversion rate. So if you just did that, and this is exactly what I said before, like fuck around and find out, but you just got to figure out, get the ad that gets clicked, CTR, the conversion rate. You can just try all of these different things. Like I test new VSLs all the time and just go, all right, did that go up or down? Down, all right, put the old one back, right? So definitely can, because it depends on the market too. There's one other little thing, I didn't put it here. When me and Nick we were trying to summarize everything that we knew about online advertising to make it as simple as possible. We had this, there's one more thing I've left out because it's more of a joke, but there was one thing, we had it like the sun in the top left corner, and we just called it the powers that be. And so things like that could be like the market, like fucking regulations and politics and all that shit. But then I was like, my general philosophy in life is I like being in control of things, so I like taking the blame for things. So if someone's like, it's the reason, the economy's the reason, like, all right, we'll just be better. You know, but that's me, and I'm kind of toxic. Cool. Rate your website, your landing page from 1 to 10. 1 being you don't have one, 10 being you're Jeff Bezos. Cool. Add up all your scores so you get like X out of 30. And I want you to figure out what you're weakest at. I'm going to send you guys some resources later this week. That being said, there's probably a bunch of open loops. So like I said at the start, if you're like, I need to take this a step further and things like that. If you don't like that number and you want someone in your corner, take out your phone and just scan that code, and you can have a talk with Patters like tomorrow or something like that. But I can also just answer questions right now. Now, if you are scanning that code, Patters made some like time in his calendar for Sunday, and you can talk about whatever the fuck you want. But I also just have time for questions right now. So while we've got some time on the clock, shout out an answer. Oh, sorry, a question. I'll shout an answer at you. Right at the back.
We've worked together on ads, so we started our membership platform for mums, and we've kind of done a bit of a
Oh, Emma. Hey, Emma. This is one of our clients.
yeah, so we made a bit of a shift because we found that mums in business are way more committed
Uh-huh.
to membership, and they'll rock up to things and they'll attend events and things like that. My question to you is, do you think, so a $200 a year membership, is it achievable to potentially get ads to work where people will actually sign up to that without a phone call or not?
You don't want to do a phone call because then you're going to have to pay a commission.
That's what we're doing at the moment. I'm still trying to work through it, but we want to effectively just get it so that we know now that the mums in business are the better target than just mums in general, because they're more committed to or there's more of a pain point as to what they want to achieve, you know.
Yeah. So, no, I don't think a $200 a year subscription is a good idea. I think you should make it like that a month. So my general philosophy with this as well is like, if you sell a cheap thing, you really don't have, like, if the price point is cheap, you don't have a lot of wiggle room for acquisition. Like if, let's say for example, the thing you sell is like $100. Let's do e-com. you'll like maybe break even if you do average. So you have to do exceptionally well with your ads. So I think you should charge more money. This is the short answer to my question. Generally, like with these like coaching programs and things like that, like that's why they are expensive. And so there's this like fine balance of like, because then you think like, okay, if it's only $200, like the barrier to entry is really, really low. But then also like, there's also this weird thing in their head where they're like, oh, why is it $200? Like, why isn't it more? I think a lot of people really don't charge very much. I'll tell you a story to drive this home as well. So the DJ school used to be $1,000 for 10 weeks, and then it was $1,300, then it was $1,400, then we got to $1,400, and I had 3 sales reps with me. We had a 1-hour meeting about going from $1,400 to $1,700. We're trying to work out like how much is our close rate going to go down? Is this actually worth it? Blah, blah, blah. We all closed higher. And then I did it again. Fucking surprise, surprise, it happened again. And it happens like we increase the prices of like where you, like for you and with you and stuff like that. Every single time we close higher. And here's the other thing as well. I might get cancelled for this. The people that pay the least expect the most. Does anyone get that in service-based businesses? They're price shopping. They're like, I've sent you $1,000. I'm entrusting you with my life. Dude, the people that pay us the most, sometimes I don't hear from them for ages. They're just like, oh fuck, sorry, the invoice didn't go through. They'll sign it. I'm like, hey man, how are you? And then they're just gone. Like a ghost in the wind, right? I think a lot of people, they have this like limiting belief, like, oh, I'm going to close lower. I have a lot of, I actually don't have one example where we increased the price and closed lower. I don't have one. I would tell you if I did. Any other questions?
What if you sell products and services?
Cool. Tell me what your business is, just so I can work with you.
So offering professional development and resources to teachers in schools about technology.
Cool. Okay. So your website will be a little bit split. So you would have like obviously one arm that is like e-com, one arm that is service-based. And then it's exactly what I was saying before. So following like this train of thought, where is it? I'm just going to go back to it. Does anyone else need to scan that? Because I'm going back to this thing now. Like if someone's going through like the service-based ad, then you get a service-based campaign, they get sent to a service-based conversion point, right? And so you had to like follow this train of thought with everything. So one thing we're going to be doing actually like after this is using this recording as like a lead magnet for with you, because a lot of the people like they'll see our ads because they're relying on word of mouth, and then they get through the whole thing. They probably don't even know about the with you workshop and program until they get onto the call. And so my hypothesis, and you're always working in hypothesis with like advertising until you turn something on and run it for a while. My hypothesis is I want them getting onto the call expecting the with you pitch, and then you ask yourself the question, what needs to happen before that? What needs to happen before that? What needs to happen before that? Here's a really good example to actually drive this one as well. I was just in Sydney and I was like, I'll just try the lead formats, the on-platform lead formats I was talking to you guys about that you can really speed run through the process. I was like, I'll just try that with you and see what the cost per lead is, just fuck around and find out, right? The cost per lead was like $40. And I was like, oh, it didn't work. And then like the other week I was thinking about my own thinking that I teach you guys. I was like, oh wait. And I looked at the ad and the CTR was like 2.5%. I was like, oh fuck, people clicked the ad, they just didn't convert. Well, I was teaching you guys. And so I went, oh. And then I built a landing page and the conversion rate was like 20%. I was like, oh, okay, cool, fixed it. And so you just had to remember, and I had to do this all the time because I work in this, right? You just had to fall back on this framework. Are people clicking the ad? Is it the right people and are they converting? It's one of those 3 fucking things. Any other questions?
With our ads, so we're getting leads in, but they're not the leads we want.
Mm-hmm.
So we're obviously working offshore and providing back office support in the Philippines. We always, pretty much 95% of the leads we get are people that want to outsource one role.
Yeah.
We're really trying to get into the large organizations so we get 10, 20, 30 seats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a weird one as well, because as your like the audience you're trying to reach gets smaller, it just gets harder to reach them. And so you have this lead quality problem. So for example, like you could just target small business owners on Facebook and business page admins. That's what we target, to target business owners and stuff like that. But within that, by statistical definition, most people are smaller businesses. And so you get the larger sample size. That's what I was saying before, where like a lot of the leads we were getting before, like 98% weren't even qualified for our expensive shit. So it's knocking people back. Then we introduced the With You program and they were more qualified for that because it was economical. So there's a strategy thing there as well. Typically what happens in this situation is direct outreach is actually the way to go. It's really fucking annoying. So you can look at tools like, I think one is, your example can't use D7 Lead Finder. But D7 Lead Finder is like a tool where you can enter in like a Google search and then it will scrape all the Google My Business listings, get their emails, their websites and all this stuff. But also since you run a VA agency, you can kind of just build a system around this and get people to go that way. We have this problem as well where like, I just want to get bigger whale clients, but the bigger whale clients like, you know, fucking some exec at BHP isn't clicking a lead magnet ad, right? And so you really just had to go direct to the source. So as your audience gets smaller, you had to be more direct. And sometimes being more direct means fucking emailing them. So unfortunately, that's the answer to that question. It's more of a strategy thing rather than like particular ads or clicks or things like that. One way you can kind of address it, I'd argue it would be annoying and you'll feel like it won't work for a very long time. We did this with, here's a really great example. One of our clients does, they're called pop-up Wi-Fi. They do internet when like the internet cannot go out. So like the presidential inauguration, shit like that, right? There's like fucking a couple hundred people in the US that will buy this thing. But what happens is that because they're an internet service provider, people that see the ad, it's hard to target people. So for example, like the target audience will be the dude Jason that came in and helped us set up before. There's not many of those people, right? And so we can kind of get down to them, but we get a lot of the people that see the ad will not be relevant to this thing. So what we deliberately do is we make the ad unattractive to people that aren't the ideal audience. So contrary to what I said before about the red brain versus green brain, there is so much tech jargon in the ad that the only people that read it go, these are my people. And then there's another clever thing. We do tribalism too, you guys should use this. I do this all the time. So I got you here. But what we do is we put the price in the ad so that normal people see $2,000 a day hotspot. I'm hotspotting my phone right now, that's free, right? And so someone that's a general consumer will be like, why the fuck? And then they get mad about it and they like put it in the comments and shit like that. And then the tech nerds reply. The tech nerds, revenge of the nerds. And then they get at them. And then because they don't like these people, they like these people more. That ad fucking kills it. So we do it sometimes where like, we'll do it deliberately. We'll target people that we know won't like this thing. For example, like vegan products or something like that. We'll target them with like a carnivore. Super toxic, but so am I. Yeah, you just build, because it's like, so for example, like Nick uses this example in the With You workshop. I think it's the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Does anyone remember when they had beef? They're best friends. They wrote each other's songs. Their PR agencies just made this thing like you can listen to one but not the other. All the merch sales went through the roof because people have identity with it. If you're a sports fan, you do this as well. This costume and the football team changed costumes and now you don't like him anymore. It's bizarre. Any other questions before we wrap up?
For people who haven't done any ads before, what would be an average spend to get into starting to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So average spend is... I know that you know the answer is how long is a piece of string. I'll work with it. Are you service-based or e-commerce?
Service.
Cool, then. Do the thing I told you to do before. This dude's thing. Try that first. Just spend like $10 a day, lead gen, and just see if anyone opts in. And that will validate your numbers. Just try with that. Generally what I do is I'm kind of confident with this stuff, so I'll ball out with tests. But if I'm just like testing a new ad, testing like a new landing page, I'll just fucking throw $500 at it and go, cool, did that work? No, why? Try it again. Just throw it at it. So you just want to do little incremental tests. And so you can get some confidence in the numbers. You go, okay, well, that didn't work, but I know the CTR is good. Let's look at the landing page, right? Because then you can follow, because if you don't have any data, this becomes very, very hard. right? So you need some data, and the consequence of what that means is you have to buy some data, right? But it also needs to be significant. So you can't show an ad to 8 people and make a call on if it's good or not. So just keep running it until like $100, $200.
And if you have multiple services or 2 different arms to your business, like you was in before, would you just go with the outcome that you want and play with the metrics and see?
Yeah, pick one, get that right first, because otherwise you'll be like spinning plates. Yeah, just get good at one first, because all the lessons from that one will bleed into the next one.
On the back of that, I've routinely fucked around with ads and just left them on and spent too much money without turning them on fast enough. Is there, let's say you do $500 and it's shit, but then for some reason a week later it fixes itself for some reason. When should you sort of draw the line?
yeah. This is an annoying one. So when you let's say you spend $10 a day on ads, and your target CPA, like cost per lead, is $10. You got to hold on for dear life for a bit, because what happens is day one you spend $10, maybe you get a lead, so your cost per lead is $10. Day two you spend another $10, but no one opts in. And so your cost per lead is now $20, 20 divided by 1. Day three, and then you go, oh fuck, it's not working, I need to turn it off. But then you get to day 3, one person opts in, 30 divided by 2, 15, a little bit closer. Day 4, $40, maybe a third one opts in, goes down like 12, 50, something like that. The other problem that you're facing as well is attribution. So, because all of you guys are fucking so nervous about your privacy, you've ruined it for the rest of us. So, Facebook delays data. It's fucking annoying. Because what happens is they delay data by random amounts of time, up to 7 days. And so you might actually get a conversion on Monday and it just won't tell you till Saturday. It's fucking stupid, right? It's because, oh, I want my privacy. I can't even use your data for anything. Fucking relax. But there's that problem too. So try and run it for at least 7 days as well, because you'll get more accurate data. And then you'll probably turn it off, and then like 3 days later, it's like, hey, here's 10 more. It's really annoying. If people in general were not so nervous about their privacy, it wouldn't be an issue. Back in the day, Facebook used to be killer, bro. Oh man. You could target homeowners. You don't even tell Facebook you're a homeowner, it just works it out. So everyone has the Facebook pixel now, right? I harp on about all the time. That's also a source of data for Facebook to figure out who you are. Because when was the last time you actually updated your interests on Facebook? Probably when you made it in high school, right? So how does it know what you're interested in? Huh? Any website that has the Facebook pixel on it, it's going, oh, Brandon was over here. He must be interested in this. User ID Brandon went to this thing. Cool, we know what this is interested in now. That's why, like if you, I don't know, let's say for example, this is an example I went for, you visit one website about standing desks, and then you go back onto Facebook, all the standing desk ads now, because you're in someone's 1% lookalike audience. Someone went, I want the 1% of Australian Facebook users that look like people that buy my shit. Now you went to this person's pixel, you hit his pixel, it's not a retargeting ad. Facebook just went, oh, Brandon's in a standing desk now. Getting this guy's 1% lookalike audience. One more question. Fucking sick. Guys, thanks so much for coming. I think it's completely absurd you guys came at all, because they didn't even publicly post the link anywhere. So the fact anyone came is completely ridiculous to me. I'm going to hang around for a little bit if you want to ask any more like one-on-one questions. But other than that, thanks so much for your time. If you want to talk to me or Patters, scan that before you leave, because I'm going to unplug this soon. And thanks so much for coming. If you want to come out and get drinks later, hang around. But thanks again.